Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your role as well
Yeah.
within ARU.
Yeah. Hi. So Jamie Jones, I'm the Vice Principal for Operation and Infrastructure here at ARU Peterborough. So really I'm responsible for everything that happens outside of the classroom. So the upkeep of our campuses and thinking about how we move forward.
Okay, that's quite a big role, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about it day to day. What that's like. I mean, I suppose
Yeah,
it
yeah,
depends on the day,
it
doesn't it?
keeps me busy. Yeah, so the days are really variable in terms of what we need to do, and it will be dependent on what's happening on campus, what our students are doing, whilst also thinking about what the future holds. So our current, at the moment, we're planning for next year and our strategy for the next 2 or 3 years, starting to look ahead, thinking about students and thinking about new buildings and how we can interact with different activities within the city as well. So it is that really variable day-to-day operation.
So with that, the logical question from that is, what is going on over the next 2 or 3 years? Don't give
Yeah.
us an overview of that. What the future is for ARU in the shortish term.
So it's a really exciting period for ARU Peterborough. Obviously, we're in our fourth academic year. Time really does fly since we opened in 2022. We're here in our third building, the lab. Our plans have always been, and as part of the business plan that's out there, that's really got expansion plans right through to 2032 to think about what our new buildings might be, how they fit with research facilities to bring to the city, how they fit with new teaching buildings, how we can interact with new provision that's coming into the city, like the swimming pool and the leisure centre. As has been widely reported in the media, we're working really closely with PCC and the MPs and the Combined Authority on that. That's really exciting for us. And really about us continuing to grow. We're like a shark. We need to keep growing. We need to keep moving forward, but also really becoming what we've set out to be, which is a key pillar of the Peterborough and the wider region, a key pillar of the community, and really having that positive impact that we all believe as a senior team that a university should be, particularly in a city like Peterborough.
So when you talk about growing, do you mean physically growing, more
Mm.
buildings, more that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, more buildings, more students. Thinking about what courses we can offer to really meet the local and regional needs, particularly of our employers. Everything we do at the university has got the students' employability and the needs of the local, national, and now international business in mind. So yeah, it's keeping moving forward in terms of buildings. We've got that really strong relationship with the Combined Authority, with the City Council. And the city has really embraced having its own university, and we want to keep thinking about how we can keep moving forward with that.
Do you think it's interesting you say that about this is the embracing having the university here? Do you think enough people know about this building or how great it is? Do you know, was
Yeah.
that a sort of flippant thing to say? But I don't think it is really.
No, I don't think it is, John. At all. I think we're constantly looking to work on that. I think we've made a really good start, but it is, and we're constantly looking at activities that can bring people in. We have on average about 1,500 school children from the local area through our doors each year to come and undertake in very real world activities and what a university might look like. So I think, without getting into, children are the future, but they very much are. And I think particularly for young people in this city, where if you were in a town or city that had got an established university, we won't use Cambridge in this instance, but if we were thinking about somewhere like Bedford or Northampton, kids in primary and secondary school in those towns have had that continued access to their university, often whether they realise it or not, because the university just turns up at different events. And we've started from scratch on that. So I think there is still, without getting into marketing speak, there is still that brand awareness that's out there. We are still working on that. We do need to keep putting ourselves forward. But we want to continue to invite the community in as well. We have a huge community day each year. Had about 3,000 people attend that last year. We have a multitude of community events. We want to welcome different public engagement events here. Our great friends at Peterborough Civic Society are holding their annual lecture here again on Monday. It's
Okay.
these types of things that bring different community groups in, different school children in, and really flinging open the doors. We have a very open door policy. You'll have seen when you came in today, we signed you in as a visitor, but you didn't need to go through a big
Nope.
gate or anything like that. As you walked onto campus, there's no fences. So now the better weather's coming, we will see families out on our picnic benches out the front, and some of that kind of almost soft exposure to a university, I think is really important to this city and for people to realise we're here. So yeah, we need to keep going on that, and it'll always be that exercise to really show that Peterborough has got a university, and here we are right in the heart of the city centre.
True. Um, we do get people watchers from outside Peterborough. So I think it would be good to get an overview of what makes this university different to others. You mentioned that a little bit earlier on, and why it took so long to get it as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good question. I think what makes us different is obviously we're still new, as I said, 4 years in, but we've really concentrated here on meeting the needs of the city and the wider Fendon region, and really thinking about employability of our students. Each of our courses has got employability in mind
Oh,
at the end of it. So right from day one, our students, whatever course they're undertaking, are really exposed to those kind of working conditions and industrial environment, whether that be nursing, you straight into our labs and seeing our high-tech, up-to-date mannequins, or through our civil engineering courses downstairs. You're instantly into those environments. You're talking to employers that we work with from day one, and I think that's really important. We've really looked to embrace that, and that was the remit we were set. I think the other way is in terms of our building design and how we work as a university. Coming in post-pandemic, I've worked in universities all my career. The pandemic changed everything
yeah.
on so many levels, but particularly for universities, we had to think differently. Students were telling us at the universities I worked at the time that they didn't want to be in 400-seat lecture halls anymore. They wanted to see the whites of a lecturer's eyes. They wanted to be in these rooms. So as we are designing our curriculum, we've gone a lot more for that kind of smaller seminar, active learning approach, rather than pile everyone into a big room and say, you're going to sit there and we're going to tell you what to learn, as I did.
As I did, yeah.
When I was
And you sort of, if you're at the back, you kind of drift away a little bit.
And I think in answer to the question about why it took so long, yeah, I mean, I'm a Peterborough boy. When I wanted to go to university, way back in the mid-90s, had no real choice but to leave. And I think that I talk a lot about the brain drain when I go out to schools. I love nothing more than I'm a Stanground boy, so going back to Stanground School, and I show the kids there, when I talk to their sixth former, our sixth form leavers photo, they laugh at they don't laugh at the curtains haircuts anymore, because those haircuts have come back in. But of the people in that picture that all went off to university, I'm the only one in that picture of about 14 of us that is back here.
Yes.
Everyone else has either stayed where they went to university or has gone to London, Manchester, the big metropolises. So that brain drain, and they've all gone on to great jobs and great careers. That brain drain of Peterborough people has happened for so long, and what we're trying to do is really look to stop that and actively bring people into the city. I think the history is kind of well known of the multiple different attempts.
Yes.
I think what is a great strength of ours, and something that I and other members of the senior team have talked about in a national focus, is the partnership that's here now between the combined authority, the city council, and then when ARU came in as the academic partner. Both the combined authority and the city council still sit on our board of governors. They're very much here and part of it. And that partnership approach is really helpful as we're looking to try and go forward, because it's a difficult economic climate out there for everyone. So having that partnership together gives us a real strength.
That was just as an aside, and we're talking about the university, but that must make you pretty proud going back to your school as the vice
Oh,
president.
huge! Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I genuinely love this city, John. It means the world to me, and I say I've spent kind of 25 years having to work away in London in the main, and commuting from Peterborough to London is a young person's game.
Once you hit an age, it becomes a little bit more
really does.
bit of a pain, that, doesn't it?
But my family always joked that before this university existed, I was basing my career on a job that didn't actually exist. But thankfully, once it did exist, I was able to get the job and be and be here and be home. And I'm very proud of this
Yeah.
institution every day for what we're doing. And as I say, the impact we can have as individuals and as a university on the wider Peterborough community is really important to us.
So, presumably you work with employers as well,
Mm.
plenty of them. So, what are they telling you about the jobs market out there and the sort of skills shortages that we have, I suppose, in Peterborough and the wider
Yeah.
area as well?
Yeah, we work with, well over probably 250, 300 different employers, and we listen to them. I think that's the key thing. And again, as a senior team, I think that's what we've learned from previous experience. You need to listen and understand. Um, so many areas that we work in, that our courses are in, and our students are going into are so fast moving at the moment. And we need to listen to those employers and make sure those students have got the right skills. It can't be anymore. I talked about change after the pandemic for universities, but it can't be anymore that universities decide what course is going to be taught, what the curriculum looks like, and there you go. They're the skills you go out
Yes.
into the world in, and employers will have to get onto it. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
They're absolutely blown away. If we think about something that's right up to the minute, like cybersecurity, for example.
Mm.
So our cybersecurity course that we run, really, we know all of those students. We get employers almost asking us, "Can we hothouse them?" You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
have they really got to wait 3 years because there are really well-paid jobs ready for those students when they finish? Things like, because we designed our biomedical science course with employment in mind and talking to those employers, every student that graduated from our biomed course last summer went instantly into work or into further education. That helps us show that everything we've done in
Yeah.
talking to the employer was worth it to start filling those skills gaps.
What a great selling point that is to the
Yeah.
university, isn't it? 100%. Um, so I guess as well, there is also a part of it where you're looking after them sort of mentally, psychologically,
Mm.
the students here as well,
Yeah.
because you mentioned COVID. Obviously, that was a time when a lot of young people suffered through no fault of their own
Mm.
whatsoever. What sort of things are there to help young people as they grow up, away from careers, perhaps?
Yeah, I think again, what we've done is we've really looked to build that support right into the heart of the course. So the students have their personal development tutor. They have that access to their academics. Again, not in huge classes. Well, their academics is what we've got what we call office hours, where the students can drop in, as well as actual student services that are there as well. As you
Mm.
came in the building today, we purposely designed the student services office to be right by the front door, so
Yeah.
students have to walk past it. It's not an office as it has been at other universities I've worked at. That's a bit buried in the far corner,
Mm.
and students don't really know where it is. Ours do, and can really look to go in and access all of those different things. What we want to do, whether that's around whatever the student needs, whether it's around their mental health, whether it's financial assistance, which
Yes.
we can provide, through to things like, every day we provide fresh fruit, porridge, and soup to students.
Really?
And much on the line of kind of schools' breakfast clubs, as I say to students, the only reason for us being here is for you to go and get your degree and walk over the cathedral stage at graduation. So if you're feeling hungry when you come in for a day's learning, you're not going to be great at your learning, are you? So us spending a little bit of money on giving you a banana that you can chop up into your porridge and feel ready to learn is what we need to do. But it is, I think, for universities, and we've really looked to embrace the whole package approach. It's not just walk into a classroom, walk into a seminar room, be taught something, learn it, kind of go away. We want to provide that full
Mm.
package. And more students, both in ARU Peterborough, and we know from national statistics across the country, really need that support.
I was going to say that because that's one of the things I sort of when I was younger, um, back in the day, you sort of if you were academically able, university was something that you did kind
Mm.
of, and now maybe perhaps some people might wonder whether it's worth it financially or not anymore, which is kind of it's sad, really. But what would you say to people sort of
Yeah, I would say it is for a lot of people. I would never say it is for everyone, but I would encourage everyone to think about that as a potential choice. uh, you know, Going through the stats, but when we think about starting salaries post graduation, they are much higher than not. and that there are different routes through and different courses and different careers. I talked about cyber there, you're straight into very well paid jobs instantly.
Yeah,
But again, things like all of our health courses, nursing, midwifery, you now do need that degree to go on and have a career in those health industries. And then things like our degree apprenticeships, the tagline, it's the best tagline, the earn while you learn is right there. And we continue to expand on those, and they're really popular courses. They do obviously take a bit longer because in many cases you're on that kind of day release type approach. But there are multiple different ways to get your degree and to get your postgraduate quals as well that will then go on and help you earn the money and have the career. But again, it comes back to those courses. Are they exactly what the employer wants? And I think it's really important for universities, us included, as we do, to keep talking to the employers and keep understanding, day by day, what is happening
what's
out
needed,
there
what's
and what might impact what they need to know as they head out into the workplace is really important.